Hello, today we're going to interpret the slope and the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the initial value where it starts on the graph, and the slope is how much it's changing by. And it's usually pretty easy to see these in your problem situations because the rate of change is the slope. It's what's happening over and over again. So let's take a quick look at this problem, and you're going to see that we have a hairstylist and she is cutting hair, and she's going to be based on her profit, which is going to be her dependent variable. Her profit depends on the number of haircuts that she performs. So I'm going to lift this. I'm going to lift up so we can see the graph. So you're going to see that the haircuts are right along here, which is the x-axis. The x-axis tells us what the independent variable values are. The y-axis tells us what our independent variables are. All right, so if I'm starting at negative 200, what that means is that she is starting, she's going to pay money to make money. So she's starting in a negative. The slope is obviously positive as it's increasing. So that means she's going to increase from 200. Okay, so we're going to look here, and says here, what does her profit mean? What is her profit? Her profit, oh, at 21 haircuts, what is her profit? Okay, so you're going to see that her profit is from 21. I took a yellow highlighter and I went up to the line and went over, and I saw that it was 150. So you're going to see that I have $150 written here because that's her profit. The slope of the line is, here's my difference of y over here. Let's see, difference of y. And my difference of x I did over here. All right, to find slope, I just am going to do the difference of x, the difference of y divided by the difference of x. And I did not come up with a nice, neat little number here. I came up with 16.6666 repeating, so I'm going to go ahead and round that to $16.67. Okay, so what this means roughly is that there's going to be 10 haircuts. So I'm going to write this in here. It's going to be, let me make this smaller. Okay, it's going to be $16.67 per, let's do dollars, per one haircut, which is an average because apparently, that's just an average depending on what people usually do. So another way of thinking of this is, or $10 per 3 haircuts. I think that's right. Okay. All right. So my x-intercept is going to be that number that shows me when she broke even. All right, now the break-even point is where she has made up that $200. And if you look here on the graph, you can see that the break-even point is right there at that 12. So if I look down, if I go back down here, my y-intercept is going to be 12 and 0. Okay, move that up a little bit so it's nicer or not. There we go, 12 and 0. Okay, the values x, y of the x-intercept in the context, what they mean is that in, right up here, they mean that in 12 haircuts, um, 12 haircuts pays for the $200. oops, not 400, $200 that she started with. So 12 haircuts pays for 200. What we think of it is, I call it, it is, whoops, it is the break-even point. Okay, it is the break-even point. That means that's where what every business wants to know. She has to have at least 10, 12 haircuts in order to make money. The y-intercept is a little bit more meaningful in here. The y-intercept is 0 because, or when x is 0, the y-intercept was negative 200. And what that meant, again, was that she has to pay money to make money. The values of the x and y values of the intercept mean, in the context of the problem, they mean that 0 haircuts, oops, 0 haircuts equal negative $200. Okay, so if she doesn't do any haircuts, she's lost for the $200. Right now, the final thing that we want to be able to do is we want to write an equation for this. And for the equation, I need to know, I need to have my slope, which is right here, and my y-intercept, which is right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type out my equation, which is y equals negative, not, okay, it's positive because it's positive flip, 16.67x minus 200. That would be our equation that would represent this situation. And that is a review of slope and intercept in context. Hope you enjoyed it and it wasn't too irritating.